I'm April Pettyjohn, and this is Follow the Leader Homeschool Education. Hey everybody, welcome back to Follow the Leader Homeschool Education. I'm April and this is my guest Laura.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have you. Today we're going to be talking about all things nature school. So I'm glad you guys are here. This is a real treat. So before we jump in, we are going to get started with Laura's special little mini mug.
Oh, my mini mug.
It's
yes.
the cutest thing I have ever seen. So why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about the mini mug?
Yes, the mini mug. I don't know if you can see it on there, but it has Dauphin Island on the front of it. Because it's one of our favorite places.
Yeah, and
to
it's
travel.
one of my favorite places too.
I did not know that ahead of time, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
We've been going there as a family for, I don't know, the last few years. When nature school ends in the spring, we head to Dauphin Island for a week or so. And enjoy doing absolutely nothing.
Yes.
But sitting on the beach.
I call it Mayberry on the beach.
It is. It's wonderful. And school's still in session down there. And so it's just us and like some other homeschool families.
Yeah.
You can tell.
It's so great.
You can recognize each other in the wild. And so anyway, I got this a couple years ago at a little gift shop, and I like mini mugs. I don't know why. Probably because I can never finish a whole mug of coffee without it getting cold. So I have a better chance with my mini mug. And so now whenever we go somewhere, I always get a mini mug.
That is so cute. I love it. We collect magnets. We started that a while ago, and they're kind of like out of the way. It's not like a big, like obnoxious collection of things, but like, where am I going to keep this? So we have like a locker upstairs and we put our magnets on there, and it's kind of neat to see like, oh, we've been to all these really fun places. So
yeah, and you can kind of relive your memories as you look at them.
Yeah.
We have magnets too. We do that also, but they're on the fridge, so they
kind
are
of
right in your
like
face.
a cheaper collection.
Very
too.
much, yes.
Like $5. So
Yes.
that's nice. Well, I love it. It's so cute, and it makes me want to go back and revisit. So yeah, shout out to Dauphin Island.
All right. Yeah,
Except I don't want to give away all of our secrets because it's not very touristy.
No, don't go there. It's horrible. Yeah.
Save it for us. Oh man. Okay. So is there a Bible verse or like a mission statement that you've kind of used over the years to be a guiding light to your homeschool journey?
Yes, I would say our mission kind of is to develop lifelong learners. Like I want my kids to love learning so much that they don't really see it as work.
Yeah.
And realize that, you know, school is school, but it doesn't stop. Like you're kind of learning all the time. And I try to model it.
Yeah.
And my husband does as well. I mean, we both try to read on our own, and I do a lot of research for my own podcast and for nature school and things. And I'm always sharing like little facts with the kids. And I mean, I hope that we're doing a good job of that, because I mean, it's just something that I think is so valuable and important. Now, I don't know, I guess we'll find out if, you know, a handful of years or so if that, you know, continues, but
I love that.
That's I think our goal.
Yeah. I love that. That's so good. And so I sent my boys to nature school. It was it started out kind of as a cry for help, really, because I had just had Demi and I was very overwhelmed, and I was looking for something one day a week to kind of like supplement.
Yes.
I needed help.
Yeah.
Really is what it started as. And I had a friend suggest, they're like, well, have you heard of nature school? And I was like, no, what is this? And really at first I was like, what? Like a lot of hippie children running around with no shoes and like sword fighting with sticks. And I wasn't that excited about it. And then she like gave me the website and I looked it up and I was like, this is legitimate. This is amazing. What is this? And so we went to the open house and I was just continually impressed. And so we'll get more into nature school here in a little bit, but I would first of all like to say thank you so much for the like hand up that you gave me in that season. It was just such a critical time that really helped kind of push me through. It gave me that hope on Thursdays. Like I could just see it coming. I'm like, Thursday's coming. Thursday's coming. I can do this. So it was a really fun season, but I would love some background. I mean, even going back to like you and your husband's education and upbringing, and then how you got into homeschooling. So can you kind of fill us in?
Yeah. Well, both Nate and I went to Iowa State University in Ames, Iowa. Haven't been back there for a very long time. And we both majored in animal ecology there. We met my senior year. He's a couple of years younger, as he likes to remind me. And we had a class together my senior year, the natural history of Costa Rica.
Wow.
Like, who doesn't want to take that class,
Yeah, that
right?
sounds fun.
And so it was spring semester, so my last semester of college. And so we learned about Costa Rica, and then we went to Costa Rica for like a 10-day trip over the spring break.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we had to do like projects and present while we were there, like while we were out on the trail, whenever we came upon like our animal or plant we had researched, like we were going to be the expert. And so we had to, share and teach about it.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was very fun.
Wow.
I mean, it was amazing. I actually went back there on our honeymoon. We went back to Costa Rica for our honeymoon. But anyway, so we both studied animal ecology at Iowa State. I studied environmental education, and he studied wildlife management. So we didn't have a lot of classes together, but same major. So that's kind of where my love for teaching about nature started. Mm-hmm. I didn't even really know it was a possibility because I started out studying zoology at Iowa State. Okay. And I wanted to go to vet school, and then decided after a year that really wasn't the track I wanted, and talked to my advisor, and he's like, well, have you thought about animal ecology? And I'm like, I didn't even know it existed.
That was a thing. Yeah.
And so I learned more about it, and I was like, this sounds way better, like for me. And then I started with an internship one summer at the zoo in Des Moines, Iowa. Okay. And created programs and worked with animals and presented to the public, with my headset on and my zoo shirt and khaki shorts. And
I can totally see you doing
that. It was
that.
very fun. I couldn't believe how much I liked it because I really didn't like public speaking.
Okay.
But I just had so much fun.
Yeah.
And anyway, just, meeting kids and families and stuff. And then I ended up working at the zoo in like a full-time position after that in the education department. And Nate finished up college, and then we ended up moving down here back in 2002. So we've been here a long time.
Wow.
When we moved, I worked for the Department of Conservation. So I'd gotten a job with the Department of Conservation, but I was an educator, but at Wonders of Wildlife was my location. So that was when it first opened, like way back. And so I did outreach programs to schools in the Southwest Missouri area, and then had school groups come and did programs for them. Also working with animals.
Yes.
Presenting animals. That was fun. There's lots of crazy stories.
We love Wonders of Wildlife.
Yes.
We get a season pass every year.
Yes,
it never gets old.
Holds a place in my heart for sure. Yeah. It was a great spot to work. And then decided that I really enjoyed working with the kids even more than with the animals.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to see them more than like once in their life. I wanted to watch them as they grew.
But some similarities too, right? Working with kids, working with animals.
And developing curriculum. That's always something I've done everywhere that I've worked. Like it was required. You have to come up with the classes. You have to, even when I then went and taught school, here's the textbooks that we're using, but we really want you to do your own thing and kind of use these as a resource. And so I ended up teaching middle school and high school science for 12 years, possibly, I think. Okay. In between Wonders of Wildlife and Nature School.
Now, were either you or Nate, were you guys homeschool kids? Was that in your background at all?
Never.
Neither of you were.
And I had no intention of homeschooling my kids. I remember talking to parents who did homeschool their kids, and I was like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Oh, so-and-so loves to learn about bugs. That's all we're doing, and I'm like, well, where are they getting, their literature? And I'm just in my head. I didn't, say that out loud. But thinking, wow, I don't see that as a good option.
Right. How is that well-rounded?
Right. I was just so ignorant of it and so judgmental.
Sure.
Because I didn't even have kids at
right.
that point. You're always the greatest parent before you have children. Right. And then through we ended up having or adopting our first child. So we have 3 kids. We've adopted all of them. And so after that, I'm trying to think back. Okay, so I was working, teaching school, and I was actually going back to school, getting my master's in education at Drury. And I didn't go back after we adopted Eli because
it's usually how it goes.
Yeah, it was. I was halfway through, and I was I was planning to go back. I had my schedule planned, but it didn't happen. I was like, how? That's not gonna, like,
No.
I can't work and go to school and raise this child. And so I never went back, and I probably never will.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
That's okay.
But anyway, so as he grew up and, started school and was in kindergarten, and I was like, yikes, like, he was not a child to sit at a desk and for a long period of time anyway, and like do worksheets and things like that. And I remember his teacher telling me he'd thrown his worksheet on the floor that day, and I was like, well, can you really blame him?
Right. Yes.
So, the idea of homeschooling came into my head, and my husband and I talked about it, and that's why we started, like, because of Eli. And I'm so thankful. Like, at first I was like, wow, this is so hard, but I'm like, it was one of those things that, you're really thankful for that.
Yeah. Were you and Nate pretty well on the same page about that from the beginning?
Yeah. I mean, we
You
could
both
both
saw
see the
need.
writing on the wall.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely. And then, so he went to kindergarten for school. That was, I think, his last stint, in a classroom. And then, with Ella, who is 13, Eli's 16 now. Ella's just turned 13, and she also went to kindergarten.
Okay.
And that was it. And then I'm like, no, I think we're done.
Yeah. If that environment is life-giving for your child or not. I just interviewed Rachel Hennon a few weeks ago, and she said the same thing about her oldest, about Jace. She was like, I knew very quickly that this environment, it wasn't made for him. It wasn't so much that he didn't fit.
Right.
And that was okay.
Right.
I didn't need to try to force him to fit into that mold.
Exactly. I think that would have done more harm than good for us anyway.
Yeah.
And I think Ella, as a girl, probably would have been okay sitting at a desk more. But I do remember also one day she didn't want to finish her E worksheet in kindergarten and didn't get to go to recess at lunch, which was her favorite part of the day.
Yeah.
She didn't get to play outside. And I was just like, oh, like, I understand, sort of, but at the same time, like, let the girl go outdoors.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they need.
Yeah. And so that just kind of cemented in my head that we'd finish kindergarten and then just homeschool her too. The reason we even finished kindergarten at school is because we had just adopted, at that point, Ethan.
Okay.
And he was an infant, a newborn, and I was like, you have to go to school.
Yes.
I'm trying to do all these things, and you're going to go to kindergarten.
Kind of what I was saying earlier.
Right,
like, I need this.
So I
need you to
appreciated
go.
the kindergarten teacher. Yes, because I needed that time. And then I guess over the summer we figured out how to make it all work with the three of us. But I had my parents helping and, watching Ethan while I was trying to do, everything else.
Yeah.
And,
so when did the Lord start stirring this within you? And actually, I asked earlier, because I know you have kind of two different titles. It's School of the Wild, and then it's Firefly Nature School. And I said, can I use those interchangeably? And you were like, no. So can you, first of all, explain the difference?
I mean, it doesn't bother me.
Okay. Yes.
So
you were not unkind.
No. So Firefly Nature School is what I started first, and it's like my LLC, so my business. And when I first started, I was just writing nature study curriculum for families that were homeschooling or school teachers that wanted to incorporate it. And like lots of different lessons on, various topics. There's a whole variety.
And did that start pretty quickly after you pulled your kids out of public school?
That was, after, I think Ella was still in kindergarten.
Okay.
Yes, because it was 2018 when we launched Firefly, and Ethan was born that year. So Ella was still in kindergarten. Eli was homeschooling, and I'm writing furiously nature study curriculum. But Nate was super supportive. He thought it was a great idea. And he's like, you were made for this, you've been practicing for the last 20 years or 8 at that time. It wasn't 20 years, but 18 years or I don't know, however long it was. I had lots of curriculum writing experience and, the outdoors background and nature study background. So it just kind of all came together, and it was like, well, I should have done this a long time ago. But then it was like, well, no, because God's timing is perfect.
Exactly.
Like I had all this to, direct me to this point in time, and without it, it wouldn't have been the same, you know.
And who would have ever thought, like when he was putting all those pieces together, that it was going to lead to this someday?
I still pinch myself. I'm like so excited. I love what I do. Like I couldn't love it more.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, even, you know, 6 or 7, I guess we're going into our 6th year this fall, which I can't believe also, but like, you know, 8 years ago, I would never have imagined what I'd be doing for a career. And I'm so very thankful. And I absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, so Firefly totally didn't answer your
that's
question.
Okay. No,
so Firefly is what started with the nature study curriculum.
Okay.
And I knew eventually I wanted to do something like in person, like an in-person nature school. And so that was where School of the Wild came in. I was like, we could call it Firefly, but then is it the curriculum or is it the school? I'm like, we need a different name. So it's under the umbrella of Firefly, and there's a link to it on our Firefly website, but it's the actual in-person nature school.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And it's an incredible program. It really is.
Thank
the
you so
location is absolutely beautiful.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah. And the people that you have there, like helping you come alongside and run it. It's just,
I feel so blessed in
Yeah.
all those aspects.
Yeah, we learned so much from it. And even just like the people that you've had come in to like help supplement to like, I learned so much. The boys would come home and they're like, Mom, if you're in the wilderness, really all you need is
a trash bag.
It's a trash bag. Yes, you can do so many things with it. Right. So yeah, it was really informative for me too.
I've learned a ton too, because outdoor skills aren't necessarily my go-to. Nate is better at that kind of stuff, but then to have other people come in and help us, Ben and Brian, come in and help us with that. They did such a great job, and I learned so much from them.
And I never forget dropping Reed off that first day, because I was like kind of warning him, like, listen, he's a video game kid.
I remember.
He loves video games, and he does. And I was like, if he had his way, he would sit on the couch all day. So I'm kind of like, I have to force him to be outside. And then I remember picking him up, and you're like, I don't know. He loved it. And he did for 2 years. I mean, that kid, he was like, let's go. Let's go. Muddy boots, rain. Yep. All the weather. Yeah, he really loved it. So I'm
so glad.
It really was. It was mentality shifting for him. So
I think, I mean, even for me, like, because like, I don't get to be like, I'm staying home today, you know?
Exactly.
That's not a choice. And it has taught me a lot about resilience and
for sure.
And you know, you just got to do it. Maybe it's 105 degrees, you know, on the heat index, but there's little kids coming out, and you're going to teach them about nature, and you're going to go enjoy it and
how
sweat.
to find shade.
Stay
hydrated.
Exactly. Yeah. We learn all kinds of things.
Yeah, it was very empowering.
And same with the wintertime, and you know, it's very cold, so you find out real quick what works to keep you warm and what doesn't.
And I think it comes through that it's something that you're passionate about. And so many times, absolutely. Yes. So many times I've had moms on here, and that's what I want moms to take away is it's like, yes, you're a homeschool mom, but that doesn't have to consume your identity. Like I hope that listeners have seen over and over and over that moms have come on the podcast, and it's like, yes, I homeschool my kids, but also like I'm pursuing this. It's like I'm doing a podcast, and Jill is a worship leader, and you are running this incredible nature school. And it's like, you don't have to give up on these other passions that God has put in your heart because he's chosen to place you as your kid's educator as well.
That is so very true. You can, and it really helps if you do something that the kids can do also. Absolutely.
Yeah. Bring them alongside. Yeah.
And now Eli is, 16, but he's teaching or not, helping.
Yes.
He's like a teaching assistant, and, Ella's helping in the kinder class this year. And
I love that.
So I just have Ethan as my only student, of my children now. But, it's just like a whole family affair.
It's a full circle.
Yeah.
Full
With Nate out
moment.
there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's super amazing.
That's really cool. I love how this has been like a full circle moment for your family. That's really special. So as you've pursued this, I'm sure that there's been some obstacles and roadblocks along the way, but how have you seen God like specifically open doors for you to pursue this calling?
That's a great question. So I've seen it a lot. And I guess as you get older, you learn to look for that and appreciate it more. Just finding a location for nature school. I see that God had planned it out like before I even knew.
Wow.
Because we visited Love at Pine Needham, which is where we have nature school. We visited there with our nature group, the homeschool nature group, years before, like a couple years probably before I even had planned nature school.
It's so gorgeous too.
It
like just to
is.
give you guys a picture, it looks like a Christmas tree farm. Like when you first drive up, it's like a Hallmark.
That's
it's
funny
so
that you say
beautiful.
that, because many times as we drive in, I'm like, that's going to be our Christmas tree this year. But I mean, we couldn't even dream of cutting one of those trees down.
Never.
That would never be allowed. But it doesn't stop me from being like, oh, that would look so pretty in the house.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. So we had visited there with our homeschool nature group, and in the back of my head, eventually I had that location then. I was like, oh, this would be an amazing place to have nature school. But we ended up doing our first year of nature school at Valley Watermill Park.
Oh,
I knew,
didn't know that.
Yeah. We had a group of 20-ish, I think, students, ages 6 to 12. And I knew the people that were working out at Valley Watermill. And so it was like a, automatic like go-to.
Yeah.
And they were so welcoming and wonderful to have us out there. It happened to be the year of COVID, like 2020. And so there were like no school groups out there. There were barely any people around. So it was great. It was almost like we had the park to ourselves every day. Once in a while, we'd come across a hiker that would be like, what are you? What is this group? And we'd say, and they're like, well, that's amazing, And they were very, inspirational. They helped us feel good about ourselves out there.
Just connect with people.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was wonderful to be outside and being able to interact with each other, even during the COVID times. But it was going to be way too crowded the following school year, and we didn't really have a good indoor spot to go if there was inclement weather.
Yeah.
And by inclement, I more mean dangerous weather.
Right.
We can play out in the rain or snow, but lightning and things like that, we needed a shelter. And we were going to add like another class of students too. I think that's the year we added our first kinder class for the littler kids.
I think that was the year we started, was 21. That 22 year would have been our first year.
Yeah. So I was on, it was on my radar to be looking for somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I thought about, Love at Pine Needham, and I emailed Nick, who's the manager out there, and I said, hey, we were out with our nature group like last year or 2 years. I don't remember when it was, a couple years ago. And we were wondering about having a nature school meet out there, and would you be open to talking about that? And he was, and we met out there with him and walked around. He showed us all around and said that he, in fact, was interested in having some kind of educational component. Wow. He was, wanted to pursue something, had been wanting to, but didn't really want to do it himself because he didn't have the time to be teaching classes. And so it was just like a perfect union of, nature school and the Pine Needham, and we could be the educational component.
Yeah.
And so totally. Yeah. So I was like, it's divine intervention.
Yes.
It worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
You couldn't have timed it better.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of those instances of like more than you could ask or imagine.
Yes.
Like it's just like, oh, you think you want this?
Right.
Let me give you this.
And my husband, is always quick to point out, and we don't have to maintain the property.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yes. And it's because I don't think of that as often because I don't maintain the property at our house. Like he does all that. And so that's always in the forefront of his mind. Like, so how many hours am I going to have to spend like taking care of this? And
you just get to go and enjoy it.
Right. And it's 108 acres, so it's like that would be a full-time job to take, and then some. You have to have a staff, but they provide that. Yeah. And so it's amazing.
I love that he opened up that relationship for you. That's
so
really
do I.
special.
Yeah. So do I. Yeah.
Oh, so good. Well, this was just part 1. We have had so much good discussion. You guys are going to want to make sure that you tune in next time for part 2. We're going to hit a lot more topics with Laura. And until then, happy learning. This episode of Follow the Leader Homeschool Education is brought to you by Command Family Medicine. Command Family Medicine is part of a cutting-edge movement called Direct Primary Care. They deal directly with their patients to help individuals and families take command of their health through increased access and affordable and transparent cost of care. With locations in Springfield and Branson, Command is serving the Ozarks. It is also brought to you by Nathan Keene with Alpha Realty. Nathan is excited to help you find your perfect home. He'll make the real estate process fun, stress-free, and focused on your goals. Whether you're buying or selling, he will guide you every step of the way. He will work to make your dreams a reality. You can find links to Nathan Keene Realty and Command Family Medicine in the show notes.